All right, so today we're going to talk about the percent proportion. The percent proportion is always the same. It's is over of equals percent over 100. And you might also see it rather than is being part and then of being whole. So like if you talk about a pizza, it's like 4 pieces of 8 pieces out of the whole pizza. Okay, so we're going to start with the first problem, and it says, what is 15% of 12? So I know what is goes together. That's going to be our is spot. Then it says 15%, so that's going to go with our percent. And then the last part says of 12. So that's going to be our of position. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug those in. And we're going to go, what is, so that's our x, 15% of 12. So the of spot is 12, and then 15, and then always 100. Okay? Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross multiply. So remember previously we had just cross multiplied that times that equals that times that. So let's go ahead. You have x times 100, so 100x equals, and then you do 15 times 12, which is 180. Okay, so then you can solve. So divide by 100 on both sides, and you get x equals 1.8. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and try the same thing on the next problem. We're just going to erase a little bit. Now if you want to highlight still, you can. So it says, what is, so there's our is, 30% and of 50. So let's go ahead and fill that proportion in. What is 30% of 50? And always over 100. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross multiply. So 50 times 30 is 1500, and then equals 100x. Divide by 100 on both sides, x equals 15. Circle it, and there's your answer. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. All right, so it says, what percent, so that's our percent, what percent, that tells us we don't know that, of 20, so that's our of, is 8. So this time we know what is. All right, so there's our proportion. What percent of 20 is 8? So x, 100 of 20 is 8. Okay, over to the left of that, I'm going to do my work. So 8 times 100 is 800, and then 20x. So we're going to divide 800 divided by 20, and you would get x equals 40. All right, not too bad, right? Okay, let's go ahead. You try the next one, and we'll see if your answer matches up with mine. Okay, just to check to make sure you got the same proportion, I've got x over 80 equals 45 over 100. Now go ahead and solve it. All right, and hopefully we got the same answer. So when we cross multiplied, we got 3600 equals 100x, and then we got x equals 36. Okay, great job. Let's go ahead and try the next one. The 210% of what number is 84? I'm going to do the whole problem this time, and then we're going to check our answers. All right, this one seems a little different, so I just wanted to point out, it says 210% of what number is 84. So that 210 is going to go on top of the 100. So that tells me that the 84 is going to be way bigger than the number, the x that it's of. So let's go ahead and try that. All right, and we got x equals 40. So it is 210%. So it's all of that plus another doubled. It's doubled. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the 150% of what number. So that also tells us it's going to be bigger. Okay, so let's try that. Okay, so when I did that one, I set it up 24 over x equals 150 over 100. And I cross multiplied. 2400 equals 150x, divide by 150 on both sides, and you got 16 equals x. Great job. So the bottom three that are down here that are left over, I am just going to have you, the bottom six. Let's try the first three. So you guys do the first three, and then we will do the next three also. So let's do the first three first, okay? Hopefully you saw in that very first one, they're wanting to know what percent. So the percent is the one that we're looking for this time. Okay, so for that first one, we should have gotten 60, and then look, I made sure that I put the percent because you have to indicate that that's a percent. All right, let's try the next one. Okay, now that one might have been a little tricky, but hopefully you set it up. It says 25 is, so that 25 is going to go with your is on top. What percent, so we don't know the percent, of 20. So when you look at that, you should have said, oh, I bet that's more than 100, and it is. So you got x equals 125, and then we put the percent. Go ahead and try the last one. Okay, so hopefully for that last one there, we got x equals 48. For the last three, I'm sure that you can set those up, so I'm just going to write what the x equals. So I'm going to give you a minute to do each of those, and we will go ahead and just check the answer. Okay, so there's the answers for the last one. First one, x equals 4,000. Second one, x equals 4.05. And the last one, it says 1/2 is, so 1/2 should be your is spot. Of what number? So 1/2 over x equals 25 over 100, and you should have got x equals 2. All right, great job. Let's move to the bottom part. All right, so the bottom question. The bar graph shows the strengths of tornadoes that occurred in Alabama in 2011. What percent, so there's our key words right there. What percent of the tornadoes were EF1s? So again, we're going to put that into our is over of equals percent over 100. So what percent, that's what we're looking for, x over 100, of the tornadoes were EF1. So we're going to have to add all of those together. So you're going to have to do 36 plus 58 plus 29 plus 13 plus 7 plus 2 to figure out how many total tornadoes there were. If I remember correctly, I believe there were 145. Okay? And then you want to look at how many were EF1s, and that's 58 of them. Okay? So then you'd cross multiply and solve. So go ahead and do that now that we have it set up. All right, that should have been x equals 40%. Great job. Now we're going to do the next one, and it says the important part you're going to have to read here is we're EF1 or EF0s. So you're going to add those together. So when you do your top number, so you'll still keep 145 on the bottom, but your top number is going to be that 36 plus 58. Okay? So go ahead and do that, and then cross multiply and solve. Okay, so I went ahead and did that, and when I did, I realized I was going to have to round the percent to the nearest tenth, so I'd get 64.8. All right, let's go ahead. Okay, the last question on this page, what percent of the tornadoes were stronger than an EF3? So it's similar to what we did in the last one. We're going to keep the 145 at the bottom, and what percent? And then we need to figure out the ones that were stronger than an EF3. So that would not include the EF3. So we do 7 plus 2, and that's 9. 9 times 100, 900. And then divide that by 145. And you get x equals, and again, you had to round this one. I got 6.2%. All right. Looks great. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, a salesperson receives 3% in commission. So there's our percent right there. That's going to go in our percent spot. The salesperson earns $180 in commission. What was the amount in sales? So our is the $180 that they earned. And then what was the amount of sales? So, okay, and we're going to go into, that's our part and our whole. So when you're a salesperson, you don't earn the entire sale. You only earn a part of the sale. So we're going to figure out what the entire sale was, what that whole was. So we would set up the proportion, and I'm going to set it up kind of over to the side. So, all right, so we know the 3 goes in the percent spot, and 100 always goes on the bottom, and then you earn $180 in commission. That is your part, and we need to know the whole. So now that you have it set up, go ahead and cross multiply and solve, and we'll see if we get the same answer. Okay, and if we cross multiplied correctly, I put the amount here that you would have gotten when you cross multiplied, and then you divide by 3, and you would have had to sell $6,000 worth of merchandise, whatever they were selling, to get $180 in commission. All right, let's try the very last problem. Okay, so I think if you look at the 87.5, I believe I changed that. So look at it, because 87.5, I think it was originally 82.5, and I had to change it. So it looks different on my page than it does on yours. Okay, so let's go ahead and read. You are assigned 32 math exercises for homework. You complete 87.5 of the problems before dinner. How much do you have left to do after class? Okay, so you are assigned 32 math exercises. That's your whole. That's the whole amount you were assigned. So that's going on the bottom. You complete 87.5% of the 100. How many do you have left to do after dinner? Okay, so if I set the proportion up like that, which is not wrong, if I set it up like that though, what I'm figuring out is the 87.5. So I'm figuring out how many problems I did get done. So we have to keep that in mind when doing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and cross multiply and we can solve, but we're gonna find out how many problems we did get done. So go ahead and do that. Okay, so there we have it. X equals 28. So that means we got 28 problems done. So we need to do 32 minus 28 to figure out how many problems we have left. And we have 4 problems left. Okay? All right, now if you guys look down at the very bottom of your page, it tells what the homework assignment is. If you do have any questions, please let me know, and I will try to help you from where I am at. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm sorry I could not be there with you guys today.